Hello, my name is Troy Smith. I'm from Snohomish, Washington, a native here. I'm 56. My phone number is 425-399-4609. I am making a video for help against the corruption of the Washington courts. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, Asian, Hispanic. This deals with our Constitution and civil rights that's really needed these days. Snohomish County stole my animal family, my business, my retirement, my future. The employees of the state broke my 1st, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 10th, 14th Amendment, along with multiple Brady violations, malicious prosecution, and last, digital spoliation. 2018, my wife passed away from cancer, along with 7 of my dogs that we've been breeding for over 20 years. The state broke into my house, took my dogs, and left a letter on my door stating to pay $6,000 to get them back. I petitioned them, took them to court. I went there with all my evidence, vet stuff, and they didn't show. Like 25 days later, the judge in Monroe called them and they charged me over the phone. Later on, I found out that they were already selling my dogs even before the petition. They killed my old ones and sold my young ones starting 15 days after they took them. The judge combining their charge with my civil is illegal because I ended up having to have public defenders that weren't licensed to do the civil. They moved me out to Arlington where their case fell apart. They blamed me for mange because my old dog had a tumor on her butt, which would be the biggest tumor ever for a dog. So their case fell apart. They changed their charges like 3 times, all the way to the point that they were charging me for cancer. Then I asked about my petition. They told me if I asked that again, they would put me in jail. They locked me out of the courtrooms. They put me in black videos to prove the power of the point. They gave me warrants. They finally told me that they were going to make me sit in court for over 3 years so I couldn't sue them, which that is called malicious prosecution. This is the petition that they failed to go to. Another thing I want to bring up is in malicious prosecution, once they do that to you, there's no way that you can get an attorney. No attorney will take your case or help you because you're already being charged by the state. The only way that you can get out of it is you have to win the suit. That's malicious prosecution by law right there. Right there it states, for me to sue the county, I have to win. This is what they spoiled out of the federal court. Okay, so I made it all the way through 3.5 years. I knew that they were going to put me in prison to hide what they were doing. And luckily at the end I had a judge, the commissioner that was doing that to me got moved, and another judge saw my case and she saved me. She gave me a letter for malicious prosecution, finders of facts against the state. And this is what they spoiled out of the federal court. So I went through all 3, I made it through tort. The tort deputy prosecutor denied my tort. And I made it through Superior Court. They said my case was out of their jurisdiction because there's so many laws broken in it. Went to federal court. And as you can see, there's a date on the back of when the malicious prosecution, when I won it. That is when my lawsuit starts. It does not start with my petition back in 2019. The date of that's at the top. What the federal state did is they digitally spoiled my letter from the judge so they could go back in time to my petition and say that the stipulation of 3 years ran out so they could dismiss my case. This is Pacer, and if you look at line number 42, it shows that my evidence A through V is digitally put in. I noticed them spoiling it, and I raced in the next morning and it was gone. So I went to Tacoma and it was still there. The clerk put it back in number 43. He could not actually put in there that they spoiled it. He said I'm not allowed to place blame. So he wrote supplementing my thing, and he's putting A through Q back in, writing at the end, exhibits A through Q were included with the motion, but inadvertently not scanned. That's how he's letting the court know, that the judge would know something went wrong there. So I'm basically saying that Washington, since 2014, when they spoiled the Oso case, where families were murdered by a mudslide in places that they shouldn't have built their homes, that's the last spoliation that I knew Washington did. So it's obviously that they are still practicing it. I followed the courts all the way along. Before they spoiled it, I was going through a mediation. They wanted to settle. And that is, I lost it. Here is them, the state, confirming 10, 11, 12 that they have a settlement date. That's pretty much I had 100% evidence and facts against them, especially since the worstest place to break a law is in court. I have all the audios. This states 7 hours, $6,000 something. This states that the state said they were paying 100% of it because I was a victim. And after we were going through the settlement, all of a sudden my case got spoiled. And after that, a week went by and they dismissed my case and canceled the settlement. And I knew why now, because they took the evidence out. They dismissed my case on the facts that the evidence wasn't in there against them, which allowed them to go back and dismiss my case off my petition, which is illegal. It's actually a federal crime. I turned back around. I'm following the laws from off of Google, and I did a complaint against them. So I followed what the computer was telling me to do in this situation, which is rare. I first did a complaint, and in my complaint, I intentionally put in there the facts that they spoiled it, what they were doing, and the police stopped. They declined it. Then I turned around and did a recusal, because now I have facts that the judge is biased 100%, that I've never met. Here is the recusal. Here is me doing the complaint. Here is the main judge now got involved, Dave something, and he states that he denies my recusal and all of it because I didn't show evidence, even though I put the evidence with the complaint and I put the evidence with the recusal both times, showing my intentions were clear. This is what happens The facts and proof are right there. All you have to do is look at Pacer, which they did not do. Which I understand, they're using it for their own advantage. I made sure the evidence went to that judge, which this is the main judge of Tacoma that's looking over the magistrate that's on my case. And as you see right here is his email. And it's a studio door for this chief judge that doesn't look at his emails. Here's the 4 emails that I sent him showing his email thing, Estudiador from me. And the bottom one, this one, you stole it right here, is actually the picture of Pacer showing the Spoilation. The one for 1487, that one right here. Which is right here. Picture of the Spoilation that was taken out. So the chief judge did get it, but he ruled in the magistrate's favor. I ended up talking to their deputy attorney, which happens to be the same tort officer that denied my thing, which shows I was pretty much probably set up the whole time. And she said that I cannot get the magistrate off my case because I didn't sign a form that dismisses her, which is this. And if you notice, they wrote this themselves, copying the actual form. And the file date up on top is right here, 08/27/24. And the date they submitted it is September 3rd, 2024. So that would be 7 days, which means that they rushed it through. The rules of this is I'm supposed to consent to that, and I was never asked, so this is probably something I wasn't supposed to know, but they illegally did it. Another thing that I noticed is I appealed it. I appealed their decision, which I paid $605. Following that, this is all weeks apart of each other. I filed an appeal, notice of appeal, and they wrote in there that in one of these that I supplementary the Pacer, and I explained to them that that's not me. That's the clerk did that. He's not allowed to place blame. So when they spoiled it, that's a line above showing all the evidence is in, and the one down below where they took the evidence out, all he could do is put it back in saying Troy supplemented the thing because I was there. But that's not me supplementing anything. He's just putting the evidence back in that somebody took out. That helped them dismiss my case with prejudice. So I can't come back and sue them for breaking a federal law. So also, the form also points out that she wrote that she's my judge and she's also my appealer. She wrote herself purposely includes trial, final entry of judgment, and direct review of the Ninth Circuit. So she made herself full control of my case, which is illegal. It's called no dual rule. That's illegal for a magistrate to do that. Magistrates normally handle, if anybody doesn't know about courts, but learning like me, learning from this, I can say you don't want a magistrate on your case. Judges are who are the ones that you want. They're the real deal, I hope. I don't know, I haven't been able to talk to one in 6.5 years. Actually, the only one I talked to was the one that saved me. And other than that, I haven't talked to a judge besides being told to not talk. I've never sat in court. My due process has been wrecked beyond imaginations. But it says, yeah, while the magistrate judge may handle certain aspects of a case, which my case is a big one because it's malicious prosecution. She shouldn't have been on it in the first place, but I think that goes along with them setting me up. They do not typically have the authority to hear the appeal of their own decision, which, yeah, that's that's wrong. That's against the law. They shouldn't. Totally 100% bias. The ending of it all, after my appeal, I just got this, like a few days ago. And it is stating my complaint, my recusal, all of it. This magistrate that closed my case is denying all the things that I did because it is denied as repetitive. So me sending them the actual facts of my case is repetitive and unsupportive by legal authority. So I'm pro se, I guess I'm my own authority. I knew they were breaking the law. I'm just showing you people bluntly, these are the dead facts of my case. So yeah, they basically stole my whole life right after my wife died. Held me in court for 6.5 years. I just appealed it, $605 I had to work really hard for. I don't even get that back. Like, they just went, nope, you're not gonna get to appeal. You don't get your money back. So I went through all this abuse of court to take them to court. I thought when I got to federal court, like finally seeing the beautiful building I was walking in, to wow, this is gonna be real, finally. And then I find out, no, they have me kidnapped into Tacoma where they hid me, and it started all over again. I went through another 3-something years of abuse from the court, laughed at. When I brought up they can't do that, the deputy attorney told me that no district judge was going to help me because of that fake form, that false form. I brought up senators, and she laughed because I looked it up that senators could fire a judge, and she told me that senators would not help me. So I stewed on this for a while. My friends and family do not believe in the court system at all anymore. It's almost like if they break, I mean, you have to follow every law going through this court thing, dot all your I's, cross your T's, and they don't follow any. They never followed their discovery, their summary judgment. They accused me of not subpoenaing them or giving them a lawsuit when it was in their own exhibits. Everything they did, they failed, and they got mad. I think in the matter, well, of course, I have all the evidence and they have zero. They have nothing. Plus, it happened in court, so I have all the audios, everything. And all they could do, I was wondering what they were going to do. You know, they were going to settle. They spoiled the case, and then they dismissed it in my face illegally. The point is they didn't think I would actually go to the media. So here I am. I'm one of you. And I would not want this to happen to you, your sister, your grandmother, anyone, somebody breaking in your house, taking your business, and basically just breaking the law in your face. I'm telling you, I mean, I have an audio that I listened to that they were talking about me never missing a court date. And then they put a warrant on me anyways. Like some of the audios I heard that I didn't know when I wasn't there blew my mind at how corrupt the court is. So senators, they say you aren't going to help me. Is this true? I'm done.